reading from a selection of texts, I've been told, including Unearthed. I feel like he's a guy who needs no introduction because we're all buddies here, but I'm going to do a formal introduction for you anyway, just because I feel like it's fun. So, Robin was born in Germany and grew up in England. He edits a Swell, a quarterly poetry zine celebrating brevity, which you can buy here today. Robin, can you tell us a bit about who's in here?
Yeah, sure. So it's short, minimal, concrete poetry. We've got Alec Finley, Greg Thomas, and Charlotte Young, and many others. So poets from across the world, all coming together for the first issue. I'm really excited about it.
Ooh. Congratulations!
Thank you.
So Unearthed is his 4th pamphlet, and his favourite word is pebble, apparently. Good favourite word. Please take to the stage, and everybody give him a big round of applause.
Okay, get myself sorted. No, it's going to be in the way. So, first of all, thanks for being here, thanks for coming. Great timing, Julian. Yeah, I'm going to start with reading from Unearthed. It is an oratorio in 4 parts. An oratorio is a narrative orchestral piece with singers, and it's sort of set at 4 archaeological dig sites around the world. These are real dig sites, which I've chosen for their ecological and anthropological significance. I haven't ever visited any of them, but I've brought them together in this text, which is a text that is performed, not read, because it's a musical piece. And I'm going to try and navigate a way through it. It is one that has 4 choruses that take place simultaneously, where the digs are taking place, and you're encouraged to read across as well as down the narrative streams. So there's a potentially infinite number of ways it can be read. So this is just one, and I'm going to tell you which sites there are. In the west, the La Brea tar pits in Los Angeles. In the north, a peat bog in Jutland, Denmark. In the south, the ruins of the National Museum of Brazil in Rio de Janeiro. And in the east, a riverbed in Yakutia, Russia. Barely perceptible chimes. Smouldering embers, 10,000 years is only 3 feet away. Smouldering embers. Meltwater carves out the gore-flecked snout of a wolf, eyes missing, fangs intact, moss upon moss upon moss, shrivelling cinders, smouldering embers, eyes missing, fangs intact, brain preserved in the permafrost, ominous whoosh. 20,000 years is 6 feet under, shrivelling cinders, upon moss, upon most, brain preserved in the permafrost, ominous whoosh, still snarling after 40,000 years. Chimes becoming shrill. In the remnants of the blaze, mottled sunset, moss, turf, mud, repeat, entombing remains within the peat, under the rubble, among the ashes, whooshing continues. Mottled sunset, muddled neon, slow motion fanfares, the omnipresence of the present historical moment, thwacked wood blocks. Mottled sunset, moss, turf, mud, repeat, muddled neon, entombing remains within the peat, asphalt, slow motion fanfares, Brazil's oldest human fossil, Lucia. Thwacked wood blocks. Unknown asphaltic remains uncovered while excavating shovel, an underground car park trowel containing cougars, coyotes, trowel, wolves, shovel, microfossils, mammoths, mineralized teeth. Sinister ostinato. We're not intelligent enough to understand animal intelligence. Beheaded by the ice, or a primitive human, hitherto unknown in this region, the wolf will be examined. Microfossils, mournful cello. We're not intelligent will be examined, enough to understand will be examined, animal intelligence will be examined, mineralized teeth will be examined, the wolf will be examined, mammoths will be examined, hitherto unknown in this region, the wolf will be examined. We're not intelligent enough to understand animal intelligence. Backwards guitars. With 3 days' growth furring his jaw, his lips seem poised to speak, cavernous drones. These unbending atoms, endlessly unbecoming. Mummified by peat under the rubble, hanged among the ashes, shimmering strings but not cremated, Lucia unburies bones. Cavernous drones cancels paw prints, the river cancels paw prints, shimmering strings, unburies bones. Mummified by peat under the rubble, hanged among the ashes but not cremated, Lucia, Tolland man. His lips seem poised to speak. What words? What sounds? Which whispers? 10,000 years is only 3 feet away. What words? What sounds? 20,000 years, which whispers is 6 feet under? Scorched marimbas. An African migrant gathering nuts and berries, felled by the jaguar, pulled from the fire 12,000 years later, Lucia, 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 10,000 years is only 3 feet away, 12,000 years later, Lucia, 20,000 years is 6 feet under, Lucia, 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 the omnipresence of the present historical moment. Felled by the jaguar, pulled from the fire, Lucia. Ghostly organ. O viscous trap ensnaring bison, hear you not their bellows, see you not their predators drowning in tar, have you not mercy, 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 mercy? This is what the fossils tell us. This is what the fossils tell us to ask. Pink noise. After decades of neglect, a government pledged pink noise to rebuild. Ironic cheers, while the Amazon burns. Past enmeshes present, the wolf will be examined, examined. Ascending arpeggios. What will we unearth? What will we rebirth? What do the fossils tell us? The fossils tell us to ask, what will we bequeath? What we will bequeath, 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 what will we bequeath? 1,000 harps, barely perceptible chimes. I'm not sure I could ever recreate a way of reading that in the same way again. And that's the idea of the text. It's the same for the reader. It's different for everyone and every time. And Unearthed is sort of the third in a trilogy of texts about sort of landscape, geology and time. I'm not going to read that one. I'm going to read this one, which is the second. And like I said, it's set at 4 archaeological dig sites. The other 2 texts I'm going to read from are set at sites not of archaeological significance, but of personal significance. This one is a place, Vermilion Cliffs, which is a rocky outcrop of vermilion-coloured rock about 60 miles northeast of the Grand Canyon. And this is an extract that was published in Reliquiae, I think is how that word is pronounced, which is a journal of landscape, nature, and anthology and mythology that is published by Cobblestone Press. Let's find it. So this is an extract from Vermilion Cliffs. Here it is summer. Here the heat desiccates the shrubs and the creeks simmer. Here this crevice in the face of the red undamped rock butterflies the chest, no cleft in no crag, nowhere else sings a swirling choral symphony of stone such as this. The crumbling permanence of sedimentary rock, stone after stone strewn like seeds across the sand. The ferrous escarpment calls elsewhere to mind. More blood, clouding a stream on the Packhorse Road up March Hill. I am the updraft under the condor's wing. I am the wildfire charring the lodgepole. I am a single drop of the Colorado carving Marble Canyon. I am its foam. I am the gloaming, the depth of night, the thick silence of the desert dawn's width. I am the cirrus, the circus, the cirrocumulus, its contours, its colours. I am the blaze of the sun, the cool of the moon, in between worlds. I am a portal, I am ochre on a cave wall, cinnamon, cinnabar, earwax, orifice, blood, orange, elva, alder, pink, yellow, vermilion, cliffs, all of this violently at once. I am everything I imagine I am. That was Vermilion Cliffs in the US. Now I'm going to read two parts from my debut self-published pamphlet, Quintet for Wind and Light, which is set at 5 locations across Europe, going from south to north. I'm going to read parts 2 and 3. Part 2 is set at Beachy Head, which is a few miles along the coast east of where we are in Brighton tonight, in the shadow of which I grew up, spent my teenage years. It's a text that is a kind of collage of quotations and voices, and one of those voices is the Beachy Head Lighthouse, which is featured in section 2. Here is the pebble, oblong, with a Hepworth-esque hole, plucked from the wave-cut platform beneath Beachy Head, next to the foxtooth, milky as unworked jade, you found and I kept. Several times I've known a black-headed gull step over the cliff, edge into grey air, and just hang there, riding the updraft, surfing the void. The black head of the black-headed gull is brown. Much is misnomer in our present way of grasping the world. The redbreast's breast is orange. My namesake is misnamed. And several times I've stood 5 feet from the edge, sweat and the sea fret wetting my cheek, alive to the prospect of death. I was born in 1902. Workmen winched my parts over the edge onto an iron platform and raised me out of granite. Granite, noun. A coarse-grained, igneous, crystalline rock composed of quartz, feldspar and mica, or hardness, resilience and resolution of character. My asymmetrical catadioptric optic produces a white flash every 20 seconds. I am fully automated. I need no keeper. I am going to keep things like this. You say only the sky houses light. You're wrong. I am light's house. One day on Beachy Head, up there where the salt gale sculpts the downland shrubs, I fathomed the depth of the entire ocean, but in the instant I knew, I had already forgotten. I catched the pebble in my palm once more, and through its touch know blue horizons. I was born in 1986. So the next part, part 3 of Quintet from Light, is the centre of the poem, and the central location of the poem and the journey that the text goes on is in West Yorkshire, where my dad's side of the family are from, and it features another rock face, which is a crag called Shooter's Nab, which is opposite my grandparents' house, in the shadow of which my dad was born. And me and my brother growing up, visiting my grandparents, we'd always dream of climbing Shooter's Nab, but it was out of reach for a long time until we were big enough to climb it, and this part describes that climb. As a circle of fifths returns to the tonic, my mind turns back to Shooter's Nab. We slogged up there last century, plaiting moor grass into whips on those wuthering heights. On that gritstone plinth, we picnicked. Grandma listed words for rain: sleet, slart, moor grime, mizzle. We took them in our mouths. They felt wet, ancestral and wet. We must honour these heirlooms and utter them. Did we not try tonic water for the first time, find it too adult for our tongues? Sorry, no results for moor grime in the Collins English Dictionary. Did you mean moonrise, aforetime, long time, megrims, moonshine, mooring? Aforetime we stared at that jagged horizon and promised to conquer it. Although I'll admit I was afraid of the nothing beyond that north-facing wall, we promised to conquer it. Robin, you were there. That was you there, legs dangling over the edge, kicking air. All was potential, anything was possible. Tomorrow was the golden age. Before the diagnosis, before the need for needles, before the quiet ravages of diabetes, before. Sandstone, gritstone, mudstone, shale. Such rocks of Namurian age formed the limb of the Pennine anticline. These clastic, impermeable words, these caustic, impenetrable rocks. The epicentre of my imagination, the core of the quincunx, my omphalos, my heart. Language is crawling all over me. When I ask my father what he recalls from that day, he speaks of the insects upwhirled onto the crags by the wind. Yes, they alighted on our arms as if they were tussocks or rocks among islands of light. So that concludes the trilogy of works that I don't quite know how to describe accurately, but yeah, landscape, geology, place poems, and at this point I'm going to thank you all for coming, thank you all for listening, thanks especially to Bryony for organising the evening and for her belief in the text and her energy and time in putting together such a beautiful publication, which really makes it sing, which for a musical text is really nice. And thanks for those on the stream. I do have books for sale. Some of you have bought some already. Thank you very much. I have Quintet for Wind and Light, so if you want to know where the journey ends and where it begins, that's on sale. I have Another Green World, which is another sort of music adjacent text that rewrites the lyrics for an album by Brian Eno. And I also have, as Bryony mentioned at the beginning, copies of A Swirl, the concrete minimal poetry zine that I've set up. That's not actually published yet, so you guys are getting an exclusive look at that. It hasn't even been sent to the contributors yet. I need to go to the post office, but you guys can get a sneak peek. I'll show you it. So yeah, it's an 8-page booklet, and then it opens out like so into an A4 poster, and then folds back down again like that. So then, yeah.